Thank you, Antonia, dear friend, colleague. Thank you all for being here tonight to our celebration of our work, Amplify, the voices of the indigenous people of the Amazon. It's truly wonderful and very humbling to be standing before you all, our supporters, our allies, our friends, our family. If this is the first time that you're at an Amazon Watch event, I also want to thank you for accepting the invitation from a friend or your colleague. I hope we inspire you to join the Amazon Watch community. I want to take a moment to acknowledge once again our incredible staff. These are the people who every day work tirelessly in defense of the Amazon, the rights of indigenous peoples, their territories, and for global climate stability and justice. Thank you to our staff. I also want to thank our amazing board of directors once again, including our founder and president, Atosa Soltani. I want to thank all of you board members who have been here from the very, very beginning. You know who you are. Some of you who have joined just recently, some of you who have been with us, are no longer on the board, but you have given so much and you continue to give, so thank you so much. We have a lot to celebrate tonight. It's our 21st birthday, so raise a glass. And this is a toast, I'll do mine after. A toast to Amazon Watch's 21st birthday, we're officially legal. We're also celebrating, and why we're really here is we're celebrating 20 years of work with the Uwa people of Colombia, from the cloud forests of Colombia. In a moment, you'll hear from Aura Tegria, our special guest and very inspiring young woman and a lawyer for the Uwa people. We are also celebrating the 10-year anniversary of the UN Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous Peoples. This declaration lays the framework for global governments in accordance with indigenous peoples' aspirations. The key to success of this declaration is not its passing, it's implementation. And that's what we're committed to do. At Amazon Watch, we partner with indigenous peoples of the Amazon because they are the rights holders, they are the stewards of the Amazon. They are the stewards of the life-giving rainforests that we all depend on. They harness the ancient knowledge and the practical solutions to the most challenging issues of our time, including climate change. Considering the climate crisis that we're in and its dire implications for us all, we need effective solutions right now. For example, in 1997, the Uwa people of Colombia declared that they would rather die in dignity than allow LA-based Occidental Petroleum, Oxy, to drill for oil, the blood of Mother Earth, on their sacred ancestral territory. They said, and I quote, "We will in no way sell our Mother Earth. To do so would be to give up our work of collaborating with the spirits to protect the heart of the world, which sustains and gives life to the rest of the universe." Do you all remember when Berito came to LA and said this? Those of us who remember that will never forget that time. And that's why we're here. We heard their call, and after years of resistance, prayer, international campaigning, alongside with Amazon Watch and our allies, Oxy left the Uwa territory. "20 years ago, the Uwa brought a powerful message to the world to keep the oil in the ground. This timely message has inspired a global movement backed by scientific research in which we are very proud to play a role. While our current political and climate crisis have us on the defensive, make no mistake, our movement is growing from Standing Rock to the Uwa territory to the sacred headwaters of the Amazon. Our movement is about stopping extraction. It's about keeping fossil fuels in the ground, but it is also about defending the sacred. This is in line with the worldview of our indigenous partners. Representing only 4% of the global population, indigenous peoples steward 80% of the biodiversity on our planet. Indigenous peoples around the world have the wisdom and the visionary solutions needed to maintain the balance of nature. This is indigenous-led conservation at work. And this vision is what shapes our work at Amazon Watch, and it falls into 3 categories. You could read about it in the Amazon in Focus, but our 3 areas that we focus on are stopping Amazon destruction, advancing indigenous solutions, and supporting climate justice. We resist any further destruction and deforestation of the Amazon by challenging industrial extraction and development, large dams, and resource extraction, including oil and mining concessions on indigenous territories and protected areas, such as the living forests of Sarayaku and Yasuni National Park in Ecuador. We must once and for all end Amazon crude and the expansion of the extreme energy frontier. So very soon we are going to ramp up a market campaign to apply international pressure to halt the import of Amazonian oil, the majority of which ends up right here in California. Yep. So we have a golden opportunity to show climate leadership and stop importing Amazon crude. So we invite you all, as Californians, to be a part of this effort. The Bay Area is already leading the way. We're suing companies that have already caused harm to the climate. So from local to global levels, we must recognize that resistance works. Just as an example, after the Brazilian president struck down protections for the Renca Reserve and its vast conserved forests to clear the way for industrial mining, Amazon Watch and our allies contributed to a global pressure campaign very recently, and just days ago, he annulled his reckless decree, scoring a major victory for the Amazon. So this is why we must resist. This is why we must resist the assaults that the Brazilian government is taking on indigenous people's rights, their territories, and the protected areas. This is why we support grassroots, indigenous-led efforts to advance a vision for permanent protection of the sacred headwaters of the Amazon. This is a vast, mega biodiverse rainforest located between the Napo and the Marañón headwaters region in the Ecuadorian and Peruvian Amazon. This is not a small feat. This is a major, long-term vision that will require long-term support and investment. So, as I mentioned, also, we will soon embark on a new phase of our Solar in the Amazon work. What you saw in the video was just the beginning. Thank you to our partners at Empowered by Light, and Give Power for your commitment on embarking on this mission with us. It's really time that we have solar in the Amazon. Solutions to this climate crisis that we're in must not further damage or implicate the lives of the indigenous people and the frontline communities that are already at risk. The fight for climate justice, when we talk about climate justice, we're talking about justice, not just climate change. So that's why we must always amplify the voices of indigenous peoples of the Amazon, especially the women and the youth, at international climate fora, including the upcoming COP23 in November. To do all of this, we need all of your support. We need your support tonight. Tonight is a celebration of voices and victories and long-standing relationships with the UWA and many of our other partners, but it's also our most important fundraiser of the year. So to truly stop Amazon destruction, to end Amazon crude, to protect the sacred headwaters, to advance indigenous solutions and amplify the voices of indigenous peoples and climate justice, we need to raise an additional $1 million in the next 15 months. So we've launched a sacred giving circle. We've launched an Amazon Impact Fund to make this all a reality. You could read about it in the Amazon in Focus. Please join with us in defending the sacred with all of our indigenous allies and partners across the Americas, in the North and South. In unity, we are going to win. Thank you.